What is going on, everyone? It is your right here, man. MMA, we love it. We are live, we are direct for the return, man, of MMA Reloaded on the mic, folks. It's been 3 weeks, well, give or take 3 weeks since I've been on your screens. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to join me, and wherever you're joining from, your laptop, your phone, your TV screen, if you got one of them smart TVs. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I will be joined by Kurtis Campbell. If you didn't see the Instagram story already, Kurtis Campbell, folks, at 6-0, but still an amateur, has done a hell of a lot. His success in his career, has really proclaimed his claim. It is stated that his future is going to be bright. 6-0, 3-time world champion in 3 different weight classes. Whether you're an amateur or you're a professional in mixed martial arts and boxing, that is a hell of an achievement. No doubt about it, man. And Kurtis Campbell, folks, goes in as one of the UK's brightest stars. Folks, before we get onto that, the UFC is back in 2 nights. On the 15th, Qatar takes on Giga Chikadze, a bout of top 10 featherweights. And, with Calvin, you kind of wonder, this is his shot to get back into that promised land after that devastating loss to Max Holloway, which added years onto him, and it added miles onto him. We know Calvin's better than what he showed that night. He got everyone gets sucked into Max Holloway's game, bro. It's such a provocative style, but it's so exciting to be a part of a slugfest with Max Holloway. Wow. Yeah. Then when you're in the fight, Calvin should have stuck to his game plan. Should have stuck to his technical boxing, his combinations. He's got fantastic boxing combinations when he's actually using them properly. His hands move, sticks move in a few of his past knockouts. He's got fantastic wrestling. He should have changed levels on Max, but he didn't. Should have, would have. He didn't do it. And now it's his time to return to the cage. And I do honestly, want Calvin to win her, but in this business, you got to stay unbiased. You got to stay, you got to stay down the middle. So it's exactly what I'm gonna do. And for Giga Chikadze, folks, there's not really much more to say. The guy's a savage. 7-fight win streak. Literally a guy, folks, who is, who will be the best out there. There is no doubt about this guy can beat the best. His style, that technical kickboxing style, is crazy. But Kurtis Campbell is in the party. Let's do this, man. Yeah, we'll get back to more on the show. Guys, bro.
Yo, can you hear me?
All right, man.
Yes, bro. You okay?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you so much, bro.
No worries, bro. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, bro. It's been overdue, man. Trying to get a hold of you, man. But schedules get mixed up and that, man. And I know you're busy. 2022 is about to be the year of Kurtis Campbell, man, for sure. But
definitely,
man. Obviously following you, man, through the scene and through the circuit. I saw a couple of your last podcasts as well, man, that you did with Prospect MMA and Super Necessary, man. Shout out to those guys. Bro, all I have to say is, take me back to where it started, really, and how did it start in combat sports and MMA for Kurtis Campbell?
So obviously, as a young lad, obviously it wasn't the best. getting bullied and stuff like that. But I just went straight to a gym. My cousins went to a gym, started, and I met my coach Kyle Keane, and like sort of had a connection to him. Like he never thought like I was gonna be like a good fighter. He just sort of like looked after me because I needed it, and I needed to learn how to defend myself. So I sort of got into like mixed martial arts, especially Muay Thai, to just defend myself and like like sort of on my own. So I'm not like I know Kate's vulnerable, and like a lot of the kids are like the same now. They come in to just defend themselves. So I took like I didn't like it at the start. Hated it. I hated it, but I knew I had to do it. And then as I got older
Yeah.
and as I started training more, I wanted to keep going and keep going and keep going. And I was losing weight and stuff like that. And like when you're at that age, when you're young and stuff like that, like how your look appeals to you. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like when you're young. So like when I was losing weight, I was thinking, oh, I'm liking this now. I'm losing weight. Obviously, I was still eating bad, but I was still losing weight. So I was happy with it. But like, yeah, just like through martial arts, just like through learning how to defend myself, I started on the Muay Thai scene, and then I stayed there for a good couple of years, maybe 6, 7 before I even started into MMA, and I was winning left, right, and centre as my records like 43-0, and I was like for Muay Thai, which not a lot of people know.
Ah,
But
wow.
because I was ranked number 1 in the world for Thai at my age category, my age weight, and my weight. So like, but when I first got introduced to MMA, because my dad's always been a wrestler, so when I first got introduced into MMA, I just fell in love with it because it was something new, and I just like the fact that 1 minute you could be having a fight on the feet, and then the next you could be end up like getting picked up and just dumped on the floor. So a lot of like the variety intrigued me into like sort of training MMA, and I thought I liked the sport better. And now I obviously think fighting Thai is quite boring and MMA is exciting. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and with your dad being wrestling role, yeah, and with you going into Muay Thai first, you kind of went the opposite way with that one. Like if your dad's a wrestler, you expect to wrestle first. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But now, man, that Muay Thai scene must have been real competitive because I know when you're young, you have that adrenaline, right? You have that motivation, you have the hunger. You got about fucking loads of the guys down there waiting to compete as well. Yeah, so yeah, tell me about that experience, man, and that what really prompted you to go further and compete MMA.
um, yeah. So the Muay Thai scene was very competitive. To be fair, I think the most competitive and the most tough fight was when I was 15. I was fighting an 18-year-old. I weighed in around 62 kg, and he was like 70.
Oh,
Must have been about 5'6", 5'5", my height, and he was 6'2", 6'1". So he was big, and I was fighting for a world title in his hometown in Spain. And like
oh,
I remember it was the first time I've come in with like a top knot and a bobble, and like he's had all his fans there screaming his name, and it was just like the people who come over with me and who else was fighting. So it's very intimidating, but I won. I had a 3-round fight with him. It was a tough fight, and I ended up getting the win, which I was really really pleased about. So yeah, and then I come home after winning that world title, and 2 weeks later I had the MMA fight on a show called Ice, and it was like I think it was amateur B, so it was like not really a fight. Do you know what I mean? But like that amateur B fight, I enjoyed that so much more than winning my first world title, just because it was
mm,
MMA, and like there was like I've never like I did. It was like me third or fourth time fighting MMA, but like I was older and it was headshots. Like my first time fighting headshots on MMA, so like it was a lot better, and I enjoyed it more, and I enjoyed the experience, getting to walk out with your music, and just winning and fighting in the cage. So I think as soon as I sort of started, like definitely MMA was when I first got introduced by it, MMA was definitely the way that I wanted to go. But like,
Yeah.
I was sort of doing it for a hobby and like for a sport because I enjoyed doing it. And then when I started winning stuff and like becoming on the scene a little bit when I was younger, like I sort of sat down with me coach and my dad, Jay, and just sort of said, listen, I really want to do this for a career. Like I do think I could go far in it. And you just said like the amount of work effort that you're putting in now is great, but you've got to put like 3 times much as in that. And like I'm already training twice a day at this point. So I was like, well, this is gonna get really hard now. So but you know, your body adapts and you get used to it. So like what now I just enjoy training every day. I get up, I'm happy and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So I'm like I'm grateful for everything.
Okay, well, 100%. To have that mentality, yeah, as an amateur still, the stage of your career and is brilliant. It's gone, most people, some when they go into a special, but to have that mentality as an amateur and to have that drive and the epic at that stage, bro, that's what the people look for. That's why fans get behind you. They know that you're gonna work. They know that I'm putting in that work. And 3-time world champion. Yeah, he's got it. That's why you're a lot of fans are getting behind you, a lot of them respect you because of exactly that, you know. And if we look at 2021, it was one of the craziest years for you, bro, in your career. Literally 4 fights and 3 championships. But I have to say, what was it? Obviously when you had the panic, you come off the win against Marlon Jones. Was it really, what really motivated you to go into 21 and sort of say that I'm going to do 4 fights and do this?
I like setting goals for myself and I like reaching goals and like I'm only like the close people around me notice I've got terrible OCD. Like if not in like cleaning, not in like doing anything like that. I mean like competition wise, I'm terrible for it. I always have to do something. I always have to win. So like when my OCD kicks off and I want to do something, I'll do it and I'll make sure I do it. So like having the 2020 setback with COVID and having the Marlon fight put back like 3-4 times, like it wasn't I knew I was always going to beat Marlon. I knew it. I had it set out. I knew it. I knew I was. It was the fact that it kept getting put back. And like I'm doing like full fight camps for this fight and like I'm not getting no reward out of the end of it. So it was like quite mentally damaging because I'm putting my body through like a certain amount of training at such a young age for this one fight that apparently everyone's saying that it's like going to be a 5-round war and like it's going to be one of the toughest fights they've ever seen in the UK. And like I'm training like day in, day out. I was waking up like very early. I went down to Newcastle, was living on my own in like a little box room to train in another gym to help me improve. And like it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice at all. Like I was miss my family a lot, miss my mates. I had to have a couple of my mates to come up and just chill with me, live with me for a couple of days to get through it. So like that motivation and knowing what I've put myself through, that one lad was never ever going to stop me from doing what I always pursued to do. So coming back into 2021, I wanted things to change and I was going to have a big year. I was going to fight in January, get a fight straight in. And then boom, Boris puts us in lockdown. Well, rumours. So I was like, I'm not staying in the country. So booked the flight to Dubai with one of my best mates, Connor Walsh. And I went over and I was just like, I'm not staying in this country. Flew over and I was training in TK MMA for a solid month. And then I got the phone call off my family. It's like, listen, you can't come home yet. We're still in lockdown. They've introduced hotel quarantine. Wait another month, you'll get in. So it's like, okay, no worries. This time I'm thinking, well, why don't we fly my other mate over? So we flew my other best mate over, Charlie Balmer. So we all had this big apartment and between us, and like we was living the life. We were going, getting up, we'd be training, then we'd go to the beach, like this beach club. We'd be chilling there all day. Then we'd come back,
Right.
get our stuff, and go back to training. And that's what it was like every day. So I was still grafting and I was sparring the likes of like Brendan Loughlane, Timothy Nastyukin for his one championship lightweight thing. I was his main sparring partner, and like I'm at such a young age, and he's in like the peak of his career, and I'm beating him in these rounds. Like me and him did not have the best relationship. Timothy Nastyukin, like me and him were having wars because we hated each other, and like I was beating him in these rounds. I ended up dropping him with an uppercut, and like he just it wasn't nice. Like in that gym because of the mentality that everyone had, and like the people who you were around, it was sink or swim. And at that age, like three young lads and a gym with a full of like lions they were, and it was like we would pray. It was rather you had to become one, or like you was sort of just getting eaten by them. So we had to man up, do it, and we were like standing toe to toe with these high elite level athletes. So
When you're
like
like that, sorry, man. Sorry.
yeah, no worries.
When you got that, you know, you get eaten in the gym. What did that do for you, bro? You know, what was when you come out of that and you look back at that now, yeah. You must have taken away some pros from that, right? As in, really toughened you up in there and changed the whole mentality to train. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it was his name's. I know it's Scrivers or something, or the Bear Slayer, his nickname is. He's a karate combat world champion, and like he had all his coaches and his teammates over there. And like I only had we had made our own group of mates, but realistically, I only had Connor and Charlie. Do you know what I mean? Over there to like sort of back me if anything like if stuff went down. So like, and the same with them too. But like, we didn't let any of that stop us. We didn't. We are who we are, and we were pushing each other every day. And like, it was hard some days, but like, I had their coaches and everything pulling me out from the gym mid session and be like, "You're doing rounds with this like world champion now," and I'd be like, "Sam, no worries." I'd be getting my gear on and I'd be going, and I'd just be having a like 4, 5, 6 rounds with this like world karate combat world champion who was an absolute machine, and standing toe to toe with him. And like if I got knocked out, I wouldn't have anyone. Do you know what I mean? So it was like it was mentally building stronger because knowing like you were on your own and like you gotta grow or so. But like we made mates with Connor knows Brendan Loughlane, so we made mates with Brendan, and then we sort of did as well. So he sort of like we were spending a lot of time with Brendan, going out with Brendan a lot, and his mates Josh, and then we made links with Taito Ivasa, the heavyweight. So he was taking us out a lot, and we were spending a lot of time in going places with him. So like it was like once they knew that we weren't there to just be like an Instagram influencer or like boys just look at us, we're in Dubai, do you know what I mean, trying to live that life. It wasn't like that. We was living that life, but we were still grafting every day. We were there like just everyone else to put the effort in. So having that motivation, like knowing that you can stand with people at that level athletes, it build your confidence a lot. But like soon as you come home, back to reality, got straight back in the gym and just work towards that fight. And like it wasn't the best fight camp I had. Probably the worst performance against the Marlon fight, the worst performance I had in 2021 by far. And everyone expected like this 5 round war. And I had the worst performance probably in the MMA career and still beat him in the 3rd round. So like That's not against Marlon either, because Marlon's a top fighter. But I know if it's my day, I know I'm gonna beat anyone. But like it's at the same time, everyone's got a puncher's chance, and you've still got that in the back of your mind. Like you could come in one shot, that's all it takes, especially in these like small gloves. So like that's why the game is so exciting, and that's why I think I do love it so much, because you could be winning, and the next thing you know, it just turns around and you've lost. So I think having that motivation, knowing that like it doesn't always go your way, intrigues me more and makes me more excited to it, because nothing's ever the same with the sport. Nothing's ever the same.
And then the Marlon fight was the first of your 3 championship wins, bro. And in my opinion, whether it is a professional, whether as an amateur, whether you're McGregor or whether you're Curtis Campbell, yeah, that is an amazing feat to have. And I have respect for that, because you did it in 3 weight classes. Because, but naturally, yeah, that's unheard of as amateur. Because people like to stay in their weight classes, get comfortable, get the experience, and all that. What was your mindset like when you said to yourself, "All right, cool, you're going to the weight class and that weight class, challenging this and this guy."
My mindset's always very strong. Like I have a good group of people around me, so my mindset's always very strong, and like they're always helping me drive for what I like to do. So I always had vision coming on from the buy and like training. I always had vision. I had vision me holding 3 belts. Like I didn't ever used to believe in like vision and stuff, and like speaking it and coming into existence, until one of my mates, JJ, lives in Thailand, was like, as we was I sat down with him one day after a training session, I was like, "What do you want to do with this?" And he was just like, just telling me everything that he was gonna do, and I was just like, "Why is he saying stuff?" And I'm talking about like I was maybe 15, 14, and he was like maybe 16, 17, and he's telling me he's gonna be a UFC world champion, and I'm thinking, like, what's he on? I need something what he's on, do you know what I mean? And then like over the years I got used to it and to understand it more. So like I started visioning myself with 3 belts. I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then it wasn't the way I thought I was gonna do it, because I thought I'd have 2 at bantamweight, maybe 1 at featherweight. But like when I won my bantamweight one, I was like, that was a dodgy cut, so I went up to featherweight and fought to featherweight. And I was thinking I can easily stay at this weight if I wanted to stay active, because I could still make bantamweight to just, if I want to stay active and have maybe a 6 to 8 week camp. Featherweight's the one. Just the weight isn't hard to make. So having that, so I fought at featherweight in August against Money. It was a very tough fight. That was probably my hardest fight last year. And then I fought for a featherweight title, which was supposed to be October. I think I had like 3, 4 pullouts in October, so I couldn't fight. And then I had it pushed back to November. Finally got a match against a good lad, Declan, and then that went my way in the second round. So, and then before that Declan fight went on, I already had the Teddy fight was already set that I was at lightweight, and I was like, if I do this, this is going to be very, very big, because like no one's done this before, and it'll put my name out there. So knowing and knowing that like the status that come behind it, I was like, I've got to do this. I'm doing this. I know I'm doing this. So like, it didn't go the way that I wanted, because I thought I would have finished them. I made in the third or fourth with like strikes on the feet, and then obviously I broke my foot second round, so I had to switch my game plan up and just work around it.
Broke in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, going into the lightweight type of Teddy, did you feel small? What was the weight gain like going from featherweight to lightweight? Because you had gone from, it was a rough cut, you said, and featherweight. How did you feel at featherweight, compared to lightweight? Because when you go up the weight, you got to make sure that you make it clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like,
How
yeah, I did. I always felt comfortable going up, and I always know I was never gonna get out strength. I knew that was like, unless, like, I thought I'd do it from fighting Steph. I knew there was not gonna be anyone stronger than him because you were just a CrossFit freak. So I was like, come on. But like when the featherweight fight was coming off and a lightweight fight, I was watching this. I think it was pro lightweight in the UFC, and like he was hitting his PBs like with his deadlift. Like I think it was a trap bar rep. It was like 150 something, and it was for like 3 reps. And I was doing this for like 6 to 8 reps, and I'm thinking, well, I'm definitely strong enough to be in this category. So I felt small in the featherweight fight against Declan because he was a lot taller than me. So I felt quite small in that. And then I think my style and the way I like I'm quite long. I feel like when it does come to the cage, I always look the bigger one because how wide I am with my stance and how long I am with it. So not necessarily that I felt small. I always felt comfortable, and I never like when I said I was like 15 fighting, like I was 5'5", 5'6", and he was 6'1", 6'2". I've never ever felt as small as I did then. So like now that it doesn't really affect me being a smaller one because I'm training with welterweights and middleweights on a daily basis, sparring with them, wrestling with them. So I know I can if I hang my own with them, I'm 100% gonna hang my own with lightweights and featherweights.
I think is I think because even if because you're a long guy when you fight, even if I like still have the reach advantage over Teddy. The way I was watching a couple of fights, before the show, and I love the style because you use reach so well, bro. Even if it goes on, make stupid, and you never know they don't know how to utilize their strengths. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
you know how to do it. Great
yeah,
footwork.
yeah.
You did that.
I'm yeah, yeah. I'm a very big believer of making people fight your fight and like coming into your style. And I feel like if you win the battle if they come into what you're fighting. But like I, obviously with my OCD, if someone tells me not to do something, or like just like this is in general, if someone tells you to like, oh, don't jump off that, you want to jump off it just because they've said don't do it. So like I was getting told not to wrestle with Declan, and I thought, no, I'm gonna wrestle with Declan because he's a wrestler. So I out wrestled Declan. And then I got told not to go to the floor with Teddy because submission games on point. I went to the floor with Teddy and just beat him on the floor. So like I think that's like a very big part on it. But like yeah, just
Yeah,
like the style, I'm a big believer of like making people come into my game and like drawing them in. Like it doesn't look like it, but like when I get comfortable in the cage and when I'm just moving and I'm flowing with it. I think that's like when I feel like best. I feel a lot more comfortable in there. So definitely definitely so big believer in styles and like like Israel Adesanya and that he draws people into his game. Yeah, yeah, Rodriguez, they draw people. I sort of study that sort of style. And it's a lot of mental game as well.
yeah. I kind of remind you of John Jones as well, because if you're wrestling with a wrestler, that's what John did to Chael Sonnen, and that's what he started to do. He started to fight the way they wanted to fight. Yeah. But, did you? Of course, Curtis, I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about you put in the work. I know you have the skills to actually go into the dicey areas in the fight with these guys. You know, so when you went on the ground with Teddy and took control, bro, your confidence level must have been like big because you must have felt like I thought this guy was supposed to be a submission. This guy.
Yeah. Because I remember me coach telling me before the fight, Jason Tan, he was like, let's try and keep this one on the feet and wait for the finish on the feet. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not it's me coach, do you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna go against this way because I trust them. Because at the end of the day, I'm putting my life on the line in this cage to do what I love. And the people who are behind me in my corner, I've got to have 100% trust into them. And if they don't have 100% trust into me, then it's dangerous going in there. So when I come back after taking, I think, a sweep teddy and a controllable top, when I come back into the corner and me coach Tan telling me, listen, wherever you want to take this fight, you take this fight. I am comfortable with you doing everything. I think that was like sort of a heads up to me, like, yeah, let's start showing what I can really do now on the floor and like in as a mixed martial artist, show a lot more skill set off. So like I was all on the feet and then I'd take him down when I wanted to, where I wanted to. So like I think showing like the dominant performance that I had, I was happy with it. So and especially with like I always thought it'd be a half fight because obviously with a break in I broke my foot at the start of the decking camp as well. So that bone never healed, but I always just put stuff like that to the side. Like I just take the pain afterwards. I got quite a good pain pressure hold. So I'm not really too forced. Like it does affect me and it affects me now and like I'm taking the raw fours and now I'm still training and my foot blows up. So like I'm still taking the effects of it off October because I'm constantly training. But like with the goals, if I've set goals, I'm 100% going to reach my goals because I've set them. And like the target for me to hit, I think they drive me more as well. So yeah, just knowing and like having the confidence of building my game up throughout it, and as long as the fight goes further and further on. And like, and also a big thing I was happy about showing me cardio because coming into the fifth round, wasn't tired. I was happy. Neither was Teddy. He wasn't tired either. He was still up for a fight. So showing me cardio that I can go full 5 rounds, I'm very happy with.
You know, and that's a big thing now with conditioning because you know you got 5 rounds, you got 25 minutes, 15, 10. You know, you got and loads of fighters do this because you know amateur fighters you can have 10-minute amateur fights as well. You know, 2 5-minute rounds. And, you know, then you in the first round as an amateur, they let you go all in the first, and then if it goes to the second, you nothing. You know, so when you went into when you you know of course went up, you were you weary of your conditioning, bro, at the time because you know they say you go up in weight, you carry more, and later the fight goes.
Um, no, because I have a very good strength and conditioning coach, BS coach and Billy Swan. He's like I started with Billy when for the Marlon fight, so that's when I started with Billy, and like I was training twice a week with him, and like Charlie Barman and Conor Ross, they're in the sessions, so I was training with them two in Billy's session, and like the stuff he was getting us doing, like wow, they broke us, but like our cardio was getting fitter and fitter, and then we'd be going hill sprints on the Saturday morning. We'd be getting up early, doing an hour of hill sprints, full cardio running, coming home, having something to eat and breakfast, and then doing the hardest session of the week, which was sparring. So we were sparring 8 to 10 rounds every Saturday at I think 10:30 or 11 o'clock. But while everyone's still in bed resting, us three was running hills of the morning. So we were sparring very fatigued when we were sparring. So when it was getting to them later rounds, it wasn't that we were fit. It wasn't that we're like, it was our cardio was like, it was obviously going through the roof, but like, it was a lot of, I'm very stubborn. So like my stubbornness was coming through. So it was getting me through them rounds. So I feel like even if my cardio was terrible, I think throughout how stubborn I am, I'd still be able to hold up with it.
Nah, yeah. Nah. Hey, bro, like, hey, if you were training it, through the whole time, yeah, it's not, there's nothing to worry about. But you get them guys who let their conditioning fall through the crack. And especially if you know you're going up in weight, conditioning, in my opinion, is so important. Because the later the fight goes, you want to keep the same pace, right? And but I'm like you, I'm a great fan of striking, Muay Thai, and combat as well. And I watch that, and I love that, And when you see those styles, those guys keep the pace all throughout the whole time. Yeah, there's no slowdown. You know what I mean? So, when you went up and you beat Teddy, yeah, bro, and competed the triple crown, what was actually going through your mind after beating them? How feeling after winning the lightweight title, putting into your crown, man.
I was
honest,
over the
but you must have been buzzed.
Yeah, I was over the moon. I was over the moon, but at the same time, I was very emotionally in pain. I was very bored down, and I just wanted to go home and chill with my family. So, like, I think I didn't want to. As soon as I won the fight, I didn't want to be at the venue. As much as I was loving seeing everyone after it, and my foot started to hurt, the adrenaline come off. And I think it sort of hit me because after the 4 fights and having all that training camps, it hit me straight after that fight. So I was a very, very emotionally worn out. So I think just coming home and I was just having some food and I just put a film on and went straight to bed because my body physically shut down and I just had to get some sleep and just rest up. So I just didn't do nothing for the next week because I know because I broke my foot and then I refused to go to the hospital. I didn't want to go to the hospital. So I bought myself some crutches from Argos the next day to help me walk through when I went out to town. Just to go shopping for some clothes. And then the day after, I took my sock off in front of my mum and dad and my shoe and my foot was just bruised, purple, black. And it was just swollen, and he was just "You're gonna have to go." And I had a good half an hour argument of reasons why I'm not going, and then I ended up having to go, and then that's when I got told I had a clean break. So, so after the fight, it was more maybe 5-6 days later I started to enjoying winning the 3 titles, but then 5-6 days it was still very emotionally tired and I'd have just very adrenaline dumps just out of nowhere and I wouldn't be doing nothing. So it did take a toll on my body, but it's what I wanted to do. It's about taking care of your body as well. Once you've done that, you still need to take care of it. So I think that give me a big heads up of I need to start taking care of my body more throughout fight camps and maybe be a little bit more careful of if I've injured something. Don't just carry on training on it. Make sure try and get it sorted as soon as possible. Which I do try and keep up with because I have a good massage therapist and he knows everything about bones and all that sports massage Liverpool. So he was always keeping on top of me. I was in with him every week and I'd be pulling muscles. I think I pulled my left calf twice, and I think I pulled my right hamstring once and pulled me back. And I didn't know, I was just still training throughout it, and it was just just amazed how I was still walking and nothing was hurting or nothing. So he'd be just recovery, and then I'd be next day, I'd feel amazing. So a big shout out to him because without him last year, my body would probably not have hold it up for that amount of time.
Yeah, and of course, now after all that, after the foot break, yeah, you must have that recovery time, right? Or are you still recovering from it now?
Yeah, I'm still recovering. Well, it's a bit stupid of me, really, because I was supposed to keep a boot on for like 3-4 weeks. I took it off after 3 days because it was stressing me out. Because just so, I like it's still painful now and like certain stuff. Like I try not to do any spinning kicks on it or not because it'll bend the bone. So I'm trying to take care of it, but at the same time, I've got another fight coming up soon, so I'm still pushing every day and training as hard as I can.
No, and it's normal, bro, to get emotionally, you're emotionally injured. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, when you win a title, yeah, you're buzzing, literally, going on. You're proud of the achievement. At the end of the day, you're still thinking about yourself and your health, and when you actually want to go into it, did you feel at that stage after that fight, like, now I need a break, or were
Yeah,
you straight? How long have you been back to the gym since, or um
I was like training. I wasn't supposed to be in the gym, but got me own set of keys, so I'd sneak up off there and I'd be doing like little bits with me and just upper body. But I've been probably back. Like last week, I was back, but I eased into things. But this week, I've been like, this is like properly fight camp start this week. But I haven't stopped the gym. I've still always tried to be active. Even like I go rock climbing now, just like it's like an upper body session, just like free rock climbing with me mates. But it gets us a sweat on, and it's like a different like type of sort of like session. So I think just like still doing stuff like that and still being active, I never really stopped. But yeah, it is quite normal. Like I don't know how people win a fight and then like go out and get drunk and get pissed and like I don't know how they do it. Do you know what I mean? Like I come straight home after a fight, order a pizza, put a film on, and that's me. I'm in bed
fucking
and I'm
brilliant, man.
dumping. Yeah, no one hears off me unless you're in the house or it's like one of my close mates to leave me phone on to, and they never text me. They just ring me. So I know if
Yeah.
I get rang by one of them, I'm like, okay, I'll need to answer it, or like by my family. So unless you're in the house or them, I don't answer the phone for that first night because I'll be like, I just need to chill. I just need to rest. So I have like a big thing, like whatever win will sleep with me that night. So I'll sleep with the three belts. You know what I mean? That
Ah,
night I would have slept with the three belts on the window ledge next to me. So
nah,
I think
bro.
waking up to that three belts and like having a nice tea in the morning was nice.
Shit. That's brilliant. It's always to sleep with someone else, right? Or sleep with free belts, man. Shit.
Yes.
Uh,
So like yeah. So like to be fair though, like I think I got up around like 3-4 o'clock in the morning because like my sleeping patterns ruined. Like when I try and have a sleep because of just I'm having like energy and me adrenaline. So I'll wake up in the middle of the night and like I totally forgot about my foot, like completely forgot about it. And I jumped up out of bed and stood on it and it just completely gave way and all you just heard is boom. And I thought, oh no. And I was just on the floor nearly crying because my foot was just wrote off. So then I was just like crawling to the bathroom then. Just to go to the toilet, and then I'd crawl back, get straight back into bed. And I remember just getting back into bed, lying down, and my foot was throbbing. It just finished me, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." This. So it was a very emotionally like drain.
yeah. I don't even know how to react. That's crazy. That's nuts, bro. That's at 4 a.m. at your half asleep. That is dude. Fuck, shut. Man goes out of bed. Oh, man,
Yeah,
you must have been in pain that night. You
yeah.
must have been. insane, bro. And
Yeah,
I
it
thought,
was.
that, that's peak shit. Ooh, ooh. Um, Curtis, and
Who?
how you describe your career, your work ethic, bro, yeah, doing the show is, it's amazing. It's something I would expect someone who has 55 and a kid, yeah. But you're at six right now, man. And 6-0.
Yeah, well, the record on Tapology is wrong because
Ah,
it's under C. Like I've got another two fights, which is another win and another loss, so I'm 7-1. But like it's
oh,
under Curtis with a C and not a K.
oh,
So like it's not on my record. So I'm 7-1 to be fair, which I'm happy with the one because I always see the one as a win.
no,
So
of course, man. Hey, bro, and that leads me to is how would you, of course now you told me 8 months now into your career, bro. How would you describe being an amateur in the UK scene right now? How would you describe that? If you could put it, sum it up into what? How would you sum that up?
just being an amateur in the UK scene at the minute now, like and especially what I've just won is like I've got a big target on my back, got a big bullseye on my back at the minute. So like and I'm happy that I do. I'm happy that I've got it on my back because hopefully like I'll be getting fights and I sort of call the shots. But the UK MMA scene at this minute in time is growing rapidly and it's becoming more like dominant and like more known. So I'm happy to be a part of it and happy to be helping build it up. So like yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it and I'm happy to be where I am and like the success that I've sort of done in amateurs. So yeah, I think being a part of the UK MMA scene at the minute is boss and it is a pleasure to be in it.
When would you, at that time, when would you see it all? But when would you want to take a step up into it? Have you given that thought, or are you right now taking it just by fighting, seeing it where it goes?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be long till I take that next step and maybe go pro, but I don't want to put that pressure on myself to be like, yeah, I'm going pro now because I feel like a lot of people will put that pressure on themselves and then get beat. To turning pro on a loss is not something that I want to do. So I feel like I feel like taking me time and when I know the time is right and when my coaches also tell me the time is right, which they've already said is, but like when I feel comfortable and when I feel like this is now is the time to go pro and like nothing is left the amateur scene, that's when I'll sort of take that next step, I think.
Hey, what's next in the amateur scene, man? The welterweight championship, but hey,
No,
hey,
no, welterweight is
hey,
definitely a no-go. There's some big welterweights. I think I'm trying to get a FCC featherweight title fight. No opponent yet that I know of anyway. So I think I'm just sort of waiting on an opponent. So I have trust in Tay that he'll have him Tay, the promoter of FCC, that he'll get me a match. So yeah, I think that'll be next for me, March the 5th, and then I maybe want to try and get out early April as well.
hey, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be 2 featherweight championships and 2 promotions, man. They're making records out here, guys.
Records.
So, but and just to wrap up, growing up and starting up, bro, did you admire any fighter specific, or do you cut to anyone right now in the team?
Yeah, I was a big fan of it. I still am, to be fair. When I first like got into it, MMA, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she was the Polish champion, strawweight champ at the time, I think. So she was like my big inspiration. And I remember texting her on Instagram when I like my first MMA fight and be like, oh, I was a big fan and stuff like that. And she replied to me. So I remember she liked me comment and then replied like, listen, just keep working what you're doing now, and I'm sure I'll see you in the future. I hope things work out and stuff like that. So I think when I seen that text of like she was sort of my idol when I was young, and still is to be fair, because I still think she's a beast. So when I first seen that, I was like, oh, no way. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was the first time I was proper. I was like really happy with the sport, and I was like, that. So they're not just famous and they're not just at the top. They're just nice people and they're genuine people. So I think, yeah, Joanna Janjaya was a very big person that I looked up to.
Well, I know how that feels when Tom Cruise responded to Ian, but I was like off my nut. Yeah.
It did Dominic Cruz.
Tom Cruise, bro. Shit. Well, I was legitimate. And like you just throw it in the wind, and he was liking my stories and everything, bro, and then I just messaged it back and shit. But I never expected my life.
Was that Dominic Cruz? Yeah.
Yeah, verified Dominic Cruz.
Yeah. Well, I've got a story about Dom Cruise. When I went to America to train, I was in his gym, and he was doing a pre-fight camp. Well, no, it wasn't pre-fight camp. It was like he was sort of just starting off for the Henry Cejudo fight. It was like a like quite a lot because he was going to do a long fight camp for it, and I was his sparring partner for the Henry Cejudo fight. And then when I was only like 16, and then I went when Jeremy Stevens was fighting Yair Rodriguez. I ended up being his sparring partner for it too, because Jeremy offered to. I was like 16, and Jeremy offered me to pay for me to go and live with him in Mexico for 2 months to train with him. But I had exams and me like A levels in sports science, so I couldn't go, which I was gutted. But we ended up going to Dom Cruz's house and having a barbecue and stuff like that there with Dom.
Well, that's sick.
It was amazing.
Hey, you're living a superstar lifestyle out here, man. Hey, but that's one of your people. That is a role model for your ass. But very few people say that. Yeah, as a role model, they're like, oh my God, Mike Tyson. You're one of your people is a badass. Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
she
one
is.
of the
She is.
mixed martial arts in the world. I respect that, and all much respect that. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Curtis.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
It's been fun, man. Yeah, I've been on the screen in about 3 weeks, man. So it's all coming out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you back in the cage. And good. Yeah, all the best, man. Definitely.
Yeah, you too as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. And have a good evening. Definitely chat soon.